and kick this thing off. So, my name is Brian, and I'm a sales engineer at CallTrackingMetrics. Today, I have the pleasure of serving as your moderator for Demo Day. It is my honor to introduce CTM Supervisor of Sales Engineering, Jason Smith. Jason has been with CTM for over 8 years and brings over 20 years of sales experience. Today, Jason will be sharing valuable insights on CallTrackingMetrics. Jason, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Brian. Awesome job today. Appreciate all your help. So I'll kick things off by asking a question. What if every call could be a starting point for better mental health? That's what we like to believe here at CallTrackingMetrics, and that's what we strive for in every interaction. So a little backstory. CTM started as a very basic call tracking solution. It's founded by a husband and wife team, Todd and Lori Fisher. They were doing software consulting, and they partnered with Twilio to build a call forwarding solution. And the value proposition was in measuring the performance of ads based on how many calls you got to specific phone numbers. Sounds easy, right? Well, at some point, one of our early customers asked Todd, hey, can you offer a caller a key press option, aka a voice menu or an IVR menu? Twilio, who we partner with for the back end of our solution, the telecom back end, was way ahead of the industry at this time when it came to making phone systems easily programmable and scalable for developers 100% with APIs. Todd, being a proficient developer at the time, and he still is, took a quick glance at the developer documentation and said, sure, we can do a key press option. And that was, out of that was born kind of the first advanced phone system feature within CTM. Cut to a few weeks or months later, Todd has to call somewhere. Right after he dials, he gets put into this horrible, disjointed experience that was frustrating and difficult for him as a user and a proficient developer to navigate. Remembering the docs and the IVR menu, Todd had this realization: I could help customers build a better experience than this in my software. And from there, we worked with that original customer that wanted IVR menus. We got more feedback on what else they could use. And pretty quickly, we had a really cool IVR builder that can do a lot of things, handle calls in a lot of different ways. And it's in that spirit that we've continued to work with our customers ever since, empowering them to build the tools that they need to improve how they connect to their customers across all channels, and always pushing the boundaries of what's possible through this kind of software. Nothing against tracking home services leads. Those are important to those businesses too, but nowhere is the need for an optimal caller experience greater than in the healthcare space and treating mental health patients. One phone call from someone in crisis can literally mean the difference between life and death. And we take that very seriously with CallTrackingMetrics. Switch my notes here. So you can see that those sentiments are echoed in our company's mission and values, working together to drive stronger connections for the businesses and customers that they serve. We want to make every call a positive and life-affirming experience. We're really proud of the amount of treatment facilities that choose to work with CallTrackingMetrics and choose CTM as their call tracking or contact center platform of choice. We find that our suite of tools is a really good fit for all marketers, but we have worked really well for treatment facilities, admissions teams, and the leadership teams that support them. We like to think it's also because we share these same noble ideas and values about helping people in our company culture. So I pulled a few examples here. You can check out some more feedback from other facilities, other businesses in this space on the review sites like G2 Crowd, Trustpilot, or softwarereviews.com. For demonstration purposes today, I'm going to show off the platform in 3 different kind of categories. First is our bread and butter, our sweet spot, the call tracking and marketing attribution. Second is our omni-channel and contact center capabilities. And the third is the conversation intelligence piece of the platform. So our old adage for call tracking is that we eliminate the conversion blind spot. The conversion blind spot happens when a visitor clicks on an expensive paid ad, lands on your website. Google does a great job of tracking that visitor's form submissions, clicks, and behaviors on the site. But Google is pretty blind when that visitor then picks up the phone and dials the number that they saw. If that phone call turns into an admission and a successful treatment, Google is blind to the effectiveness of that ad because the visitor left the site. That's where CallTrackingMetrics comes in to match that successful online phone call to that expensive ad click. As I said before, as the name implies, we started with phone calls, but over the last 13 years, we've added a ton of additional functionality, including lots of other modes to interact with customers on the same platform. That's where the omni-channel contact center capabilities come in. Excited to show those off. And then most recently, we've really ramped up our capabilities and our presence in the conversation intelligence space. With the proliferation of AI tools available, led by OpenAI, we've been able to empower users to build some really creative automations that we're really excited about. So with that, let's take a look under the hood and see what some of this stuff looks like. We'll look at it and I'll show you what it looks like. Cool. So we're looking at call tracking metrics here. So let's talk about the call tracking and marketing attribution. That's all kind of centered around the idea of either buying new tracking numbers from call tracking metrics or porting in the existing numbers that you have with another vendor. Either way, we like to think that we make this process pretty easy. So here you can come in and search for local numbers, toll-free numbers. You can search by an address, or you can search a near number. I can put a phone number in and try to find an available number that matches a similar pattern. You can also do vanity numbers. This supports alphanumeric search. So if I wanted to find a number that ends with help, for example, I can quickly search and find numbers all over the United States that end with help. So this is just a few clicks away from being able to purchase and configure those numbers. Once you get those numbers, what the basic configuration looks like is you define a source, a label, how we're going to identify which advertising channel the calls coming into this number are associated with. And then we're going to define a call route for this call tracking marketing attribution. And the only option back in the early days was to forward this to an external phone number. So somebody dials the tracking number, we're going to dial your external phone system. It's going to be very unintrusive. On that other phone system, it's going to look just like another inbound call, but in the call tracking metrics dashboard, we're going to have a log of how many calls we got to that specific number or from that specific advertising source. And for your offline channels, your print, your email, things that you wrap on trucks and stuff like that, this is it. You're ready to use these numbers. It's good to go. For the on-site stuff, for tracking visitors on the website that are calling, we also provide this snippet of JavaScript. So it's a single line of JavaScript, looks like this. This goes on the web page or the landing page where you're tracking visitors. And with this code in place, what call tracking metrics is going to do is find and replace what you define as the target number in your CTM configuration with our tracking number, if and only if the visitor has come from one of these sources that you've configured to track. So in this example that we're looking at here, somebody that came to the site from Google Organic, we would find this number and replace it with our 5963 number. The next minute, somebody clicks into the site from Bing Paid or Microsoft Advertising, we're going to show them the 6481 number. And so as people start to make calls to all of these numbers, every call and every other activity for that matter is logged in the CTM activity log. So here we can see outbound calls, inbound calls that have come in, what source they're associated with, show some caller ID information. And one of the cool things that we do is we also match all of the online click behavior, all the first party data that visitor brought with them to the site. And we match that to the phone call that happened to a number we know was displayed at a specific time. So that's where we can get all of this goodies that the visitor brought with them to the website and match it to this phone call. So this is great. These are all logged here, and you can see all these here. But the next kind of power up here for these calls is our automations. So you have all of these calls coming in. We have different things that we know about this call. This call was a no answer. This call was very short duration. Maybe we want to disposition that in a certain way. So Call Tracking Metrics has a workflow automation builder that we call triggers. With triggers, you can take any kind of condition anything that you can define about the caller or the time and space when that call occurred, and build all those conditions into a nice, easy to use workflow builder here. And when our call meets all of this criteria, then we want to take some kind of action. So you can do things like tag the calls with a specific value. You can update call scoring, update additional custom fields. And then we also work with a lot of our native integrations using these triggers. So this can be used to send things like Google Analytics events or Google Ads conversions or things to your various CRMs. And on that note, also very popular in this marketing attribution use case are integrations. So easily the most widely used integrations are Google integrations. And these allow us to send events into GA4 or conversions directly to Google Ads based on all of that call data that we received. And remember, based on that visitor, we picked up a bunch of good click IDs and things that we matched to that phone call. So we're sending in GA4 session information so they can match that offline activity back to the click in GA4. And similarly to Google Ads, we're picking up the Google click ID in that session data. And when we send a conversion in, we're associating it to that Google click ID so that call counts towards that campaign, that keyword term that you're bidding on is an effective conversion. So that can really help people optimize and automate their bid strategies. And then lots of other integrations as far as ad platforms. We've got Microsoft, we've got Facebook or Meta, where we can send similar conversions to, but tons of different software tools that we have to be able to easily point and click and create an integration here. A lot of our other companies leverage the webhooks by CTM. So this is an easy way to integrate with anyone else that you might not see as a native integration card. And this allows platforms to connect with the CTM API, and then they can create webhooks for you in the account to pass data to their platform. A lot of the folks that you heard from today, this is how we integrate. They create webhooks in your CTM account, and then we pass all of the call data through that webhook. So that's the marketing attribution use case. That's kind of all you need for call tracking. As a manager, somebody managing these campaigns, I can come in and look at the different reporting dashboards, see what sources are performing. I can measure this based on the data that CTM's getting, all the way down to the campaign keyword level reporting here. And so in that scenario, we talked about basic call forwarding. As I transition to the omni-channel contact center experience, where we really start to pick up those features, as I mentioned before, is in the call routing. So you can imagine, instead of just passing this off to an external phone number, CallTrackingMetrics has a lot of tools on where we can route those calls and how we can effectively route those calls based on your specific needs. So as I talked about in the example, the voice menus, this is our IVR, build a menu with a key press 1 for this, press 2 for that, and the calls can go in different directions. Call queues, I put a bunch of agents. It's like a ring group or a hunt group. I want to ring 5 people at the same time. I want to ring them round robin simultaneously. All of those ring patterns can be set up in call queues. And then smart routers is very conditional routing. So I can build conditions if the call meets all of these criterias, then send that live call, that call while it's in flight, over to this space. If it meets these other conditions or doesn't match any conditions, then here's the route where I want to send those. So this really lets people get the right calls into the right team members' hands kind of dynamically and intelligently based on those rules that are established up front. And then the other really important piece of the omni-channel experience is the web-based soft phone. So all of these routing things are great, but up to now, everything we've talked about is still sending this call to an external phone system. With CallTrackingMetrics, we provide the web-based soft phone, so your teams can log into CallTrackingMetrics directly, or the soft phone can be embedded in external platforms, and the agents can log in, acknowledge when they're available to start accepting phone calls. And then once I've done that, if I'm a member of a queue or if I've got numbers that are pointed directly to me, my computer is going to buzz and whistle, and I'm going to hear it in my headset that I've got a new phone call here. So this is very accessible, basically anywhere you can get to Google Chrome, pull up a web browser. You can use this soft phone capability, log in with a headset, make and receive all of your phone calls. But additionally, you can also do SMS, and you can field chats inside of this soft phone interface. So once I've got a number here, you can see as a soft phone agent, I have the ability to call or text this number. Similarly, inbound text messages can be routed to agents that are logged into this web phone interface. So you can imagine that allows agents to quickly go between different mediums. I'm going to engage with a customer on a chat. I'm going to get a text message. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm going to get a phone call. So that's been really powerful in any industry. Thinking about the triggers. So we talked about those triggers and kind of the marketing attribution use case, but there's also lots of uses when we think about our agents in this phone. So different things that we can enable, different workflows that we can run based on the dispositions that the agents are putting in this activity log. So worth noting, in the activity log, these panels can be customized. All of the fields that are present here can all be customized, as well as we can control like agent scripts and panels and things that are going to load for somebody when they're using the CTM soft phone. So if I make a call here, you can see based on the settings in this account that I have, this specific panel with these specific fields popped up. I'm on a live call now. I've got all of the functionality that you would expect from a voice over IP provider. I can do warm transfer, cold transfer, put the caller on hold for me or for anybody, can add additional participants. And then as an agent, I can disposition this call, put notes in and stuff like that. And then based on all of these inputs, I might have different triggers, different automations that run based on the values that are found here. And as you know, lots of our exhibitors have mentioned today, the great thing about CTM is in most of the CRMs or EMR, EHR integrations that we have, any of this stuff, any of the data that's presented to you in the CTM user interface is available for you to export, for us to automatically push with a webhook or through a native integration into your contact records in an external system. So that really helps the seamless flow of data from CTM to whatever other kind of tool you're using. So really powerful, always expanding. We're always looking to improve the phone system experience or the contact center experience for our customers. And with that, I'm going to transition and I will talk about the conversation intelligence. So we've got these calls, we've got all these activities. One of the things that you'll see in the call log is this recording icon. So anytime that I have audio, I get this recording icon. And this is really kind of the foundation of the conversation intelligence. You can imagine if we're going to do intelligent things around the conversation, we need to have at least a recording. And that's kind of where this starts. So you can see an example of the recording of the test call that we just made, probably got my voicemail box. You can also see here we've got a transcription of that call that's logged. So that's the other kind of core component prerequisite for our conversation intelligence capabilities is this transcription. So once we have a recording, we can transcribe the call. And then once we have this transcription, there's all kinds of cool insights that we can extract from this phone call. So the first one that I'll talk about is the keyword spotting rules. So we have the ability without any AI or any external tool just to kind of define workflows, rules around these are the words that I want to look for in a conversation. And if any of those came up in this transcript, whether they're spoken from the caller, the agent, or both, then I want to have this action that's processed. Most commonly, we're using this to tag or label a call in a certain way. In past that, where this starts to get really fun is with this call, with this transcription, we have the ability to use our Ask AI capability. So Ask AI is our connection to ChatGPT by OpenAI. And what we do is we take that transcript, we allow you in your trigger workflows to build a prompt, and then we'll feed this prompt in addition to the transcript to OpenAI or ChatGPT, and that output that comes back, whatever ChatGPT told us our answer was, is going to be assigned to a specific field. So in that activity log, those fields after this trigger runs, AI assessments are going to be running. So in this example, this behavioral health example, we've got given the following transcript, what are the patient's symptoms? So from that transcript, it's going to extract the symptoms that this person was calling about, or what was the insurance provider, or what treatments were recommended. So this has been really powerful for us. We've seen a lot of great adoption to this. Just as of this week, OpenAI released a new model, GPT 4.0, and we've already started leveraging that. That's an option that you have available from CTM to kind of use the latest and greatest from OpenAI. And there's all kinds of cool use cases that we're seeing here. Topic classification, identify the topic, writing follow-up emails, formatting requests in very specific ways that you need it from the outcomes of these phone calls. We can do all of that with Ask AI. I like to tell people, if you think about anything that you would coach somebody to listen for in a call recording, any action that you might want them to take from that call recording, you can automate that process using Ask AI and apply those results how you will map all of these AI outputs in your CRM, in your EMRs to specific fields. So we're really excited about this capability. Seen a lot of great adoption and a lot of great innovation. So I know we're coming up on time. I wanted to leave a little bit of room for questions, but that is my quick and dirty demo and highlights of some of the most used features. Transition back to my slide deck here, and at this time we'll open it up for Q&A. If anybody has any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. If there are none, we can move right along to how to get in touch with CallTrackingMetrics. So as we talked about, we are going to be at the NATAP conference next week. Patty, Alan, and Peter will be at booth 314 all week. So you can go and talk to them. You can meet with them on site, get a demo on the spot, or hopefully you have some questions or some cool use cases you want to run by them after you start thinking about all the ways you're going to leverage our conversation intelligence features. You can request a demo or get started with an account right away by signing up on the website. There's a link on calltrackingmetrics.com to schedule a demo as well. So if you want to meet with one of our sales team independently and talk more about your business use case, we're happy to accommodate that. If you do decide to sign up and get started right away, we waive the subscription fee on all of our plans for the first 30 days. So you can test it out for a few weeks and just pay for whatever numbers and minutes that you use in your testing. You won't be charged that subscription fee for the first 30 days. Awesome. Well, I don't see any questions rolling in, but thanks for checking us out. For those that are sticking around, I look forward to seeing you in our next session. We're going to be talking with DJ Prince from Guardian Recovery on how he leverages this technology and how it's allowed his facility to provide an excellent proactive experience and also scale his operation very rapidly. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate you joining today.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone.